I've always heard like art's meant to be stolen. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like in the sense of where you pull inspiration from them.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so you just, if you like what someone has, just put your own
Spin
twist
on
to
it,
it.
yeah.
You know, so that I pull from, again, being a fan and just being a hobby of mine of messing with graphic art. I tinker myself.
Hello and welcome to this episode of the Ask Valor Masterminds podcast, brought to you by A Advanced Services, Fuse Networks, and Warrior Injury Law. My name is Galen.
I'm Joe.
Coming at you from the Creative Block Studios in Seattle, Washington. So Joe, to our new listeners and viewers tuning in for the first time, can you tell everyone how our podcast started, please?
Yeah, so it first started out as a private Facebook group page, and the purpose was for business owners to come to it to kind of communicate, talk, ask questions, kind of guide each other through their entrepreneurial journey. Because we're a marketing agency, we get asked a lot of questions outside of just regular marketing. So we thought, what a better way than to bring on local, nationwide, and global guests to talk about all different topics related to business.
Right. So it's helped us on our entrepreneurial journey. So it's so cool when we have in-studio guests.
Absolutely.
That are truly local. So we have one today in Paddy. Can you give a quick, set up the introduction
Set
for
up the
him.
introduction?
Yes.
So I've seen his brand a little bit. My son plays paintball, and I started seeing this brand more and more and more off the leash. And I was like, what is this? Let's just go check it out, follow this guy. And then my son started playing with him. And then before he came in the doors here, I kind of asked him, hey, my son's been playing with you. Can you guess who it is? And of course, no one's going to guess who it is. But my son's been playing with him on the upper squad. I think it's a premier team. So that's how I know of Paddy. So Paddy, if you could just do a quick introduction of yourself and who you are and how you got started.
Yeah, for sure. Aloha. My name is Paddy Gleason. I live in Kent, Washington, and I'm a professional paintball player out here in the Northwest. And I own a brand called Off the Leash, and I do apparel. And then, but my kind of, I started off, my grassroots was for remote coaching for paintball athletes.
Okay.
So
Nice.
Yeah. And then I do training as well, but that's not with Off the Leash.
Right.
Yeah.
So just a couple stats I just wanted to share. So there is professional paintball leagues, and it's actually, I was surprised to see how much it was growing. So the industry's revenue grew from $650 million in 2019 to $850 million in 2023. Equipment market boom. So paintball equipment market is projected to reach $403 million by 2033, nearly double than that of 2023. Youth leagues, it's a post-pandemic outdoor surge, but just something we're seeing a growth in, and roughly 90% of Americans, everyone out there, live within 50 miles of a paintball field. So something accessible.
I mean, I could say that I like paintballing. I don't play at the level that they does or my son does. I enjoy playing like hyperball. I'm not a woods ball player. I do like it when the 12-year-old boy birthday parties come to the field because it's fun. I mean, no offense, but if you're an adult, you would like it too, shooting at the little kids, shooting at the feet sticking out behind the things. And then you get the guys who've been playing paintball their whole life come on the field and just do the same thing back to me. So yeah, it's all around amazing experience.
Awesome. So let's get to know Paddy a little bit. First question, Joe.
What are some early lessons learned as an entrepreneur?
Really? I mean, yeah. One, I guess, let me backtrack too. I was curious on how you guys knew who I was too. So when I got invited here, I was like, okay, like, I don't know how you found me. And I do, consider myself a paintball entrepreneur. And but to be invited to a local podcast to talk about my entrepreneurship, I was just like, okay, this is kind of out of my wheelhouse. So I think, for me, what stands out is entering into that space. It's like, careful what you wish for. And that's always kind of like my take with that. And it's, I grew up playing paintball, and being pro was always a dream of mine, and having a business within the paintball, so everything in my life is just kind of revolved around paintball, has always been a dream. Right. And I went out and did it, and like I said, careful what you wish for, because it was like, it's been the ups and downs, but when you start turning your passion into a way that your family depends on, for income and stuff like that, it becomes a double-edged sword.
becomes real quick.
very
right?
quickly.
So,
Can be scary at times.
And balancing your relationships with my partner, with my wife, and balancing time with my kid, and then also having that, still maintaining that passion and that love that I have for the sport. It becomes, at times, if you're not careful with balance, I think that's another thing, is just being very aware of having balance in your life. It can become very
over-consuming almost.
Have you ever reached a burnout period in it yet?
Frequently.
Okay.
Frequently. You know what I mean? Yes. Burnout. I feel like when you're, a lot of people, maybe self-help people will talk about ways to avoid burnout and this and that. For me, that's not been my experience. Like, I have reached burnout many times.
How do you deal with it then?
It's, probably not the healthiest way would be white knuckling it. You know what I mean? I do that frequently, paying more attention. And of course I'm in the fitness world too. So I do train a lot. I spend a lot of hours at the gym because that's where my place of work is. So I do get to slip in training sessions. So just being physical, you do gotta keep your mind right. So spiritually, I gotta be sound. You gotta take time off. I think we get into this kind of hyper hustle of the American style, and you have to train yourself to maybe take a step back and breathe. And I think with the birth of my son, who's 2.5 now, was a humbling lesson.
A reset point almost.
Just a different dynamic. I think my life before him was hustle, like your growth. That's the brand growth, right? You're putting a lot of hours in, you're putting extra time in just to build your brand. And then it kind of all was put to a pause when my son was born. So then it was like the identity of like, okay, this is my new identity of a father and
a business owner.
What does that look like? And you learn on the go, really. You know what I mean?
So going into that, what's the best piece of advice that you've been given then for your entrepreneurial journey?
I think I take a lot of my life lessons from the world of recovery. That's another dynamic from me too, right? As I am in recovery. And so I learned a lot from the rooms, and something that always, I have a lot of the slogans and just cliche sayings that they have that really does hold close to my heart and gets me through a lot of stuff. And one of them is how, right? Honesty, open-mindedness, and willingness. And if I can stay in that frame of mind as being an entrepreneur, obviously you're gonna, I'm kind of going through one of those lulls now. It's like, okay, we got to kind of pivot. And with the state of things right now, fitness is not necessarily on the top of people's lists.
Right.
And so it might slow down a bit. And but when this is what you do and you don't have like a 9 to 5, like when things start to slow down, you got to generate something else.
Right.
You got to produce something else. And so it's easy to revert back to a scarcity mindset, or that, a place of fear, and when you can just stay honest, open-minded, and willing, I feel like the universe tends to open doors for you that you would never even know. And that's kind of where I resonate with. And God has always taken care. So it's like, I try not to stress too much. It's easier said than done. But having faith that things are going to work out. So as just long story short, to come back around to the advice of being an entrepreneur is just that honesty, open-minded, and willingness, but trust in your gut that things are going to present themselves that you'd never even know.
Because we had a guest on before, Bob Berg, the Go-Giver, and the 5th law he had 5 different laws, but one is the law of receptivity, where you just have to be open, and so you're part honest, open, and willing to receive what's coming at you. So you're willing to give, but always be open, because you never know when that opportunity is going to come.
And accepting, right? So, you got to accept that too when it comes.
Right.
Sometimes people have a problem with accepting a gift when it comes along.
Yeah, for sure.
Last question.
Why is marketing important?
Marketing's important because that's how you're going to get yourself out there. I lean heavily into social media, and for me, I like marketing because that's just a creative outlet for me. You know, if you know, checked out my social media, I do all my social media, and I've learned. I'm very cheap, so if I can learn something, I'll just learn it rather than you know, hire.
You're resourceful.
You're not, resourceful.
You're resourceful,
sure.
not cheap.
Thank you.
Resourceful.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It definitely terminology there. Resourceful. And I do. It's just a form of expression for me on doing the editing, doing social media. And I truly do enjoy doing that. And so that's one that I just lean heavily into for marketing. But that's how you're going to get out there, especially in this day and age, right?
Yeah.
I mean, not to say that all your eggs should go into social media, but
I think where your audience is, that's where they're at.
yeah, yes, I think it's.
So what type of?
I mean, even then, you can do other things, but I just like social media. So.
What type of content seems to work best for you? So on your socials, is there a particular type of post, video, something you put out there that's more responsive than other kind of content?
I think it comes down to whatever you're more consistent with. Like if you're more consistent with something, then Instagram or someone's gonna push that more than anything else. And I find myself in the problem of and again, I like to just do what I like to do for my social media. So like I'll kind of be all over the place, and some posts won't get as much. I'll know which ones are gonna probably get more likes than not, but I'll just do the other one because I'm not really too concerned with getting the volume of likes and views and stuff like that. I'm going to do what I like to do. Yeah.
So you have a clothing brand, Off the Leash, and then you're a personal trainer, so you offer personal training specifically to paintball players. I know you do meal prep and things like that. Do you do marketing differently for each brand?
I do. And then let me just tack on too. I do social media for our gym as well. That's in Renton. So completely different approaches to all, right?
All channels.
Yes.
Right.
So with my clothing, that's a little bit more kind of streetwear. I do a little bit more edgier kind of social media stuff. With the paintball, that kind of is similar to just fitness stuff where you're doing kind of maybe demonstrations of exercises or breaking down why a certain movement's important or how it relates and translates onto the field. So that it's definitely a different vibe. Yeah. And then with APT, so I'm in a gym called APT in Renton. They've got a different population, right? Their population's not paintball specific, and the things that I can get away with for paintball, I can't really necessarily get away for APT. So that looks different when it comes to fitness content. Just between my two fitness contents, it's like that's different than OTL. So,
a side note, I want to say one of our sponsors, Fuse Networks, Travis Tome, is a member at APT. Travis, he owns Fuse Networks. He works. He mentioned that. Company? Yeah, he works out there.
Does he?
Yes.
Okay.
So,
ex Army guy.
Yeah.
He might be in the evenings.
Okay.
I think he's in the evenings. Which I'm a morning
shout out
coach,
Travis.
So.
We have
shout out to Travis.
Yeah.
Yes.
So.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
At APT. Oh, small world. Okay, cool.
Can you let our audience know how you guys started? Like, when did you start? So give them the 2-minute quicks on this was my life. I started paintball at this age, and it led up to being a business owner at this age.
But focusing more on the business owner start when you became the entrepreneur.
So yeah, we kind of talked before this, and I won't spend too much time, but started paintball back in '99 when I was a kid. Got the bug for it. Literally fell in love with it. Wanted to do that for my living. Fast forward. To 2018, I found myself back on Maui and met my now wife. We were both in school. We were both at the time in human services, so I come from substance abuse counseling and needed a break ultimately. And so at the beginning of 2018, we quit both of our jobs. We got married. We moved up here. And we were finishing our last year of school all within the beginning quarter of the year.
Wow.
So it was a lot. But it's valuable because that's kind of like how I operate as an entrepreneur, is just jumping into things, not worrying about things. I kind of my wife says it all the time. I'm hold on to your seat kind of person, you know. So I can kind of thrive and be okay with the chaos. So when we moved up in 2018, we didn't have jobs. And so just through friends, was working for a floral shop, and going from a career to a 9 to 5 hourly was just not going to have it. And I was playing paintball. So I was like, something's got to give. And I didn't make it this far to only make it this far with paintball. It was like either I quit that or I find another job.
Right.
And that's when I entered the fitness world. And I found that there was no one doing the online coaching for paintball players. There was trainers that had online coaching that played paintball, but it wasn't
They weren't connecting the dots.
It wasn't connected. So that's how basically OTL came about. That's what I started to do, and basically got one person and then got another, and then word of mouth. And so it just was organic in that sense. Clothing wasn't even around at that time. But then shortly after that, people wanted to wear the gear of OTL, and the brand, what they've been training, and so it all just kind of, like I said, grew organically. And now I kind of lean a little bit. I enjoy doing the clothes a little bit more. I come from an artist family, so this has always been something that I've wanted to do.
A natural creative outlet for you, for
sure. So I really do enjoy doing that. Of course, I love doing the training, but yeah, so I just marry the two together, and it's more of a lifestyle and attitude within a small little world of paintball.
So let's dial it back and tell me how the name came about. Why the name OTL? For our viewers, tell the story of like how the brand was born.
There's a couple different stories behind it. So off the leash. Many of you probably know the saying "off the chain." Mm-hmm. We used to just say "off the leash" instead of "off the chain." So hey, that's off the leash. And then that kind of morphed into as I was training. I get after it in my training, and one of our other coaches that we had at the gym, when I was the new guy on the block, he was like, "Yo, who's this Paddy guy? He's a beast off the leash." You know what I mean? Just training hard, paintball player, and doing what I do. And so that kind of got attached on to it as well. And then my recovery, leash being a metaphor for our barriers, mm-hmm. right? Things holding us back.
Right.
And so off the leash just means, living without boundaries, living without the things that carry us and hold us back.
Right. So, and then the logo. So the inspiration for the logo, you have it on your hat, you have it on your gear. Yeah. Talk to us about how that came about. Is it like you're at a restaurant, you have a cocktail napkin or a napkin, and you have a pen like, I got it. This came to me? Or talk to me how that came about.
Yeah.
Because it's a cool logo.
It is a cool logo, and I'm blessed to kind of land that. And it actually was just part of the whole off the leash. We used to have like off the leash spelled out, and then we had one that was OTL, mm-hmm. and over just some of the trial and error things, I was like, you know what? I was like, you know what? And I think once people kind of understood our brand and stuff like that, I could get away with just throwing the O, and people would identify with it. They're like, oh yeah, that's the O from mm-hmm. OTL,
right?
And then that's kind of how it got adopted. So now I just use the O.
Mm-hmm.
And I wish I had some cool story about that. It was just out of luck.
Yeah.
My buddy had a designer friend, and we just went through different looks, you know, and we with paintball, I get to kind of get away with some of that more edgier stuff,
Right.
Yeah. It doesn't have to be super clean. And so when we were going through stuff, like I said, it wasn't even just the O, it was like a logo. And we had chosen on that, and then it just kind of got chipped away, and now I just use the O. So, but I'm blessed too because I like it because it's super iconic within the paintball world too. Like,
so does the X's mean anything?
No. Okay. I wish I could. Like I said, I wish I could tell you something, but I'm not gonna make something out of nothing. It just
yeah. I mean, it looks. There's a little bit of.
I think it stands out
there.
And it's a little
target. So that's where I draw it.
Yeah, you could have it up to your imagination. I wish I could stand here and give you some cool breakdown of the logo, but I just think it looks really cool. It stands out. People remember it. Yeah. People like it, and so it just works.
How many different pieces of apparel do you sell?
Oh man, now?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm dropping. These 4 are just things that I got in the box.
Is the
yesterday.
Lilo one in there?
The which one?
Lilo?
No, that was just a graphic that I made.
Okay.
That was for this one, but I
thought that
made
was
this
cool.
inspired for. So at WC, I have a lot of our Hawaii guys up there. They're playing, so I made this one for them to rock.
Yeah.
And so with the Lilo, that was just a graphic that I made on myself.
I thought it was cool.
I've had a lot of people reach out. It's like, is that going to be a shirt? And I was like, well, I don't really want to mess with Disney.
Licensing and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and I'm small time. They probably won't come after me, but I don't even want to bark up that tree.
So how many different designs have you created since you started the brand?
Oh man, I couldn't even tell you. Like I pump out.
Do you know
All
I'm going to
kinds
ask you this question. You don't have to answer. Do you know what your annual sales are?
Yeah.
Like, is it a 2% growth every year? Is it a 5% growth? Is it a 20% growth?
I couldn't go with percentage. I am a little bit less hands-on than that, but every year I've had growth, and
What's your
let's just say this last year was my biggest year yet.
good?
So yeah.
What's been the top 5 products you sell?
So we do one of the logos that I've done is like this teeth. I don't know if Ty has any of that, but
I think so.
I have this jersey that has a set of teeth on it with a gold tooth on it. That was our first logo. And so that has somewhat become iconic within just the OTL story. And so I try to, every year I'll do some type of recreation jersey of that. So jerseys sell really well in paintball.
Yeah.
Right.
There's jersey collectors. So I try to release a new version of that every year. And those always sell really well. People always are looking for the new one,
Right.
or the OG one,
Yeah.
So it kind of has that reputation. So the jerseys always sell really well. We just started doing these. So like old school paintball used to do denim jerseys, like heavyweight denim jerseys. I'm bringing those. I shouldn't say I'm bringing those back, but I'm bringing those back for OTL. So you get that kind of streetwear vibe crossed with our performance paintball gear.
Right.
So that one's pretty fun.
It's a two-way use then almost, right?
So that's kind of the crossover that I'm going. I do a lot of streetwear stuff, just cottons with screen printing and stuff like that. But I'd like to make the crossover to where it's actually like playing apparel and stuff like that. So I'm working with some manufacturers and stuff like that to make similar products just with that look to it. So,
Right. So like a performance element to the street look.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. And no one's really doing that. I think you talk about these golden years and of paintball, and a lot of people that have been in the game for a long time are still there. And I think they just regurgitate and recycle each other's ideas, and it becomes for myself, a little stagnant. And so it's
But you
fun.
have those players out there. Joe's a perfect example. Ty plays. Joe he'll play with Ty, and it's a father-son thing. They're bringing their kids out and everything.
Oh,
and,
for sure.
For
Sure. I'm talking about like maybe in the pro league. You got the Michael Jordans and everyone of paintball, and they're still going at it. But it's time to, for me, it's time for something new, something fresh.
And they want that edgy look.
And and you got that younger generation wanting that.
So what gives you like
edgy
inspiration when you think of like doing different designs? Like when you have like the teeth design with a gold tooth, you bring that back, or like new designs. What kind of keeps you tinkering with new ideas? Is there a specific designer you like? What kind of inspires you there from a design standpoint as you see the brand grow and evolve, right?
I found a nice little pocket with Off the Leash and talking about kind of the leashes are the things that hold us back or our own barriers. And that comes from a place of, I have my, bachelor's in psychology, came from being a counselor. Mental health has always been a big part of my life for my own and just for being an advocate for. So that when I pull off some ideas, I try to get into that pocket of like mental health and what can resonate with people in that. I also have brands that I like to look at, and my mom's an artist, and I've always like been okay with I've always heard like art's meant to be stolen. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like in the sense of where you pull inspiration from them.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so if you like what someone has, just put your own
Spin
twist
on
to
it.
it.
Yeah.
So that I pull from Again, being a fan and just being a hobby of mine of messing with graphic arts. I tinker myself, and then having a bunch of friends that do it themselves, collaborate. I like to collaborate with people too. So it could be that I have a project in mind that I kind of craft to that vision, and honestly sometimes I will just have something pop into my head and I'm like,
let me see what
I can whip something up, and whether it's like 30 seconds and it's actually like really dope, or a project that has taken weeks to kind of curate. So I've had both things and both be successful. Like you never
know what's the lightning in the bottle moment is, right?
For sure.
So you said collaboration, and you said your mom's an artist. Have you ever thought about collabing with your mom to do something specifically for women in paintball?
Absolutely not. No, I'm just kidding.
I just know that and whenever I go to a field, I see more and more women coming out to play.
This is the thing with I would love to do women's clothes too. Especially athletic stuff, performance gear, and even the women in the gym. When are you going to do OTL stuff?
Oh, they ask already then.
Oh, yeah, I've been asked for a while. And every time I do it, it sits on my shelf.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like I want to get there to where there is a demand for it, or that I do have a good turnover, right? It has to be with turnover too. I can't, I can't be sitting on stuff. So whenever I do women's stuff though, and looks dope, maybe 3 or 4 of them will pick it up, but it's like, and then it just sits there, and I'm like, well, that.
So you're building it for them, and then you build the hype up, and then no one buys it.
Yeah, it kind of just sits there.
One of the last questions. So in 5 to 10 years, where do you see the business at? So if we had a magic wand right now, and like, all right, in 5 years, 10 years, this is where I want the business to be. What does that look like for OTO?
It's continued growth. I would like it to be, that's super cliche, but obviously it's a good thing to shoot for. It's like to be the Nike of paintball, right? Of performance gear, like that whole circles around the entire ethos of being performance, right? From training to coaching to mindset to the gear that you wear.
Right.
You know what I mean? And no one has done it yet. Within the world of paintball, and so that would be something that I strive for. It's a little big world. You just pulled up those numbers, right? People don't even know that pro paintball is a thing,
right?
But the numbers are there. I'm just a little minnow in that blue sea ocean. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I've been doing this since 2019, and I'm still the only one really doing the performance training for athletes.
Right.
So I accomplish what I can with my bandwidth, and I'm happy with that. And of course I want to get bigger, but that demands a lot more,
Right.
So I can only do what is at my capacity.
Is it worth it to do a sponsorship at a major tournament you're going to for your personal training side of things, to push that brand?
Funny that you do say that. So I am positioning myself into something like that for next season, for this
I'm guessing it's going to be expensive, but
yeah. So I am going to take a chance. I am going to throw down some money, and when you talk about marketing, stuff like that, I do really think when I stepped away from pro last year to play this smaller series, talking about a 5-year plan,
right?
I wanted more brand awareness or brand growth within the West Coast here. Yeah. So this was year 1 of doing that. I was successful doing that. And then now I'm setting myself up for next year, and I have good vibes only for that.
Only almost a 2.0 then, right?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Last thing. So I want you to look in the camera to people out there who've never tried paintball or maybe thought of it. What are you going to tell them why they should try paintball?
As a kid, growing up, paintball was an outlet for me. Like I said, I was a little inadequate as a kid, but I really did find something that I loved to do outdoors that was a team sport. I found the camaraderie that you find in team sports. You do have the adrenaline rush of it. I think it's still the only team adrenaline sport that there is. Most of them are solo, right? And so you get that team aspect of it. whether you're a fan of shooting people or not, it is one of those fun things that you get to do, and you get to go shoot people and then laugh about it, after. So, that is a little violent or a little aggressive, but that is what attracts me, and that was, one thing that had me latched from the get,
Right.
And, if your kid loves it and they love to do that, it is safe. It actually is one of the more safer sports. There's a bunch of rules about, marker. We call them markers. We don't really call them guns, but marker safety, the goggles you wear. Anybody can do it, from fathers to sons. So great, family building with that. And no, it's a safe sport that is full of adrenaline. And like I said, you get to go shoot people and then laugh about it after.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, that's
Like, it does hurt. Don't get me wrong. Getting shot.
That's a big pack.
Right?
That's a package
Yeah.
deal right there.
Getting shot with a paintball does hurt.
It does hurt a
right?
bit.
But then you get used to it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
For
So-
me now, it's like nothing.
I mean, I watched the son come home and he's got like,
Welts and everything.
8 different welts all over his
For
body,
sure,
right?
we get
But-
lit up is what we call it. We get lit up, and and then we laugh about it though. It's
Yeah.
I've gotten some of my best memories in life because of paintball and the people that are involved with paintball. So,
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. Well, thanks for coming in studio
yeah,
and
thank you for having me.
sharing
Appreciate it.
So on behalf of our sponsors, A Advanced Services, Fuse Networks, and Warrior Injury Law, my name's Galen.
Joe.
Coming at you from the Creative Block Studios in Seattle, Washington. Patty, thanks for sharing your
for
story.
joining. Thank you.
And thanks for tuning in, everyone.